Shalom. This video is about fringes. It's being made for the Sisterhood of the Nation of Israel, the sisters that are part of our study group, but it can be helpful to any woman seeking to live the Hebrew Israelite lifestyle that sees this video. So we don't mind it being shared with other women seeking to live the lifestyle of a Hebrew Israelite. Also, there was a live stream Sunday, which I believe was July 26th, due to weather and the internet connection going on and off. There were gaps in that live stream. So this video is to help fill in those gaps. But this video is about fringes. You're welcome to look at the video that was live streamed concerning fringes also. Because for the most part, there was a lot of information that was captured in that live stream, despite the internet connection going on and off. So the reason why we wear fringes is because the Creator asked Moshe or Moses to teach Israelites to wear fringes, to remind them of the commandments and to remind us of Him. So if you go to Numbers chapter 15, verse 37 through 40, it says, "And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout your generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of Yah, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring, that ye may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your ruler." That was Numbers chapter 15, verse 37 through 40. So most of the time when we learn that we're a Hebrew Israelite, then that's one of the first commandments that we try to initiate doing, and that's adding fringes to our garments and the cord of blue. So there are a variety of ways to add fringes to your clothing. But today I needed to say that the fabric I'll be using is cotton. I only use cotton, wool, linen, or silk. Those are natural fabrics. So that's what we wear, 100% cotton, linen, wool, or silk. Cotton and linen are plant-based fabrics. Cotton, of course, comes from the cotton plant. Linen comes from flax. And, of course, wool and silk are animal-based. And so today I'll be using cotton, and that's mostly what we wear is cotton. There's an experiment that you can do. Most of the man-made fabrics, rayon, polyester, and other man-made fabrics contain chemicals. And more fabrics will be being made from plastic bottles and things of that nature. So what you can do is, if you have a fabric that you know is not cotton, wool, silk, or linen, it could be polyester, it could be rayon, and there are a few other man-made fabrics out there. You can cut a piece of it and take a match or some form of a lighter and set it on fire. When you set it on fire, what you will see is in the fire or surrounding it, you'll see something bubbling up, and that's the chemical that is that the fabric is made from. You can also burn something that you know to be cotton, linen, wool, or silk, and especially cotton. And when you burn it, it will burn just like paper. You won't see anything bubbling from it at all. It will smell and burn similarly to a sheet of paper. So today we're using cotton, and I'll start with one of the first very basic ways that I learned to make fringes, and that's just from regular fabric. This is a cotton piece of fabric. So let's say, for example, I wanted to make fringes from this piece of fabric. I could cut a band, a small rectangular long strip, and then I could take a seam ripper and make fringes. I could add the strip of fabric to the bottom of any skirt or any top and make fringes. So I'll demonstrate how this would work using just basic fabric. So you see already that the fabric already wants to unravel, and when you go ahead and unravel it, you can see it starts to, sorry about that, it starts to fringe. So what you would do is find a line of thread right towards the end of the fabric, take your seam ripper and pull it, and if you can see it, this is what I pulled out. So that's what I pulled out, and the more I do that, the more I continue to do that, the longer my fringe will be. So after doing that for just a little bit, this is the fringe. And you can make this as long, you can make the fringe as long as you like. So this is the fringe right here. And you can make it, to make it longer, all you would do is continue the same process until it's the length that you would want. And then you would take your strip and add it to a top or to your skirt. We wear them on our skirts and at the bottom of our dresses. The brothers that study with us wear them around their dashikis or t-shirts. Another option is to, some fabrics fringe a lot easier than others. Some fabrics fringe very, very easily because of how they are woven. So what you can do wherever you go to buy fabric, whether it's Walmart or Joann's or whether you order fabric online, you can look for fabrics that appear to be easily fringed. And there are ways to tell just from looking at it. I'm not sure how much the camera will actually pick up, but this fabric, you can actually see the thick rows of threading, and it looks as if it can unravel very easily, if you can see it. So I'll demonstrate with this one. We'll use the same technique as I used on the blue fabric on this fabric, but what you'll see, this one is even easier to fringe than the blue one. And so what you would be able to do is buy a lot of this type of fabric, and you can make rectangular strips and add it to as many garments as you would want to, and it would go very, very quickly to get that done. So I'm going to lean my camera down so you can see me fringe this one. If you don't mind, could you pass me some silver food? So I'm going to do another strip, pull another line of thread. And as I pull a line of thread, you see the fringe becomes longer and longer. So you can make the fringe as long or as short as you would like. And so this is how that fringe looks. And so you see this fringes very, very easily, and it also fringes extremely quickly. So if you wanted it way longer than that, you could do that. This fabric is a very light beige. So when you find a fabric like this that fringes quickly and easily, you might want to get a color that you would feel comfortable being on a variety of your clothing. And this would help you get in your fringes very, very quickly. Next, another way to make fringes is from embroidery, hand embroidery, or cross stitching thread. This is it. It comes in a variety of colors. Most of it is cotton. You should be able to look on your tags to see, but it costs about 50 cents a piece of one of these. And what you would do, or you can also get bags of it. You can also get bags of it. It also comes in a variety of colors. So what you would do with this is cut it in half on one side, because right now it's wrapped circularly. So you would cut it, and what you would end up with is when you pull, what you would get when you pull correctly is a bent piece of yarn. Now you can cut it to be however short that you would want it, and that's fine. But when you add it to your garment with it bent like this, it makes it stronger. If you add it like this with a fabric band over it, what I found was it pulls out of the fabric band very easily, or it comes off the clothing very easily, is what I found. So I learned that the hard way. So it's stronger on your clothing this way. There are several ways to add that to your clothing. One way in particular is to lay it across your garment. Now I'll try to demonstrate. We'll pretend that this blue fabric is a skirt. So you would lay it across your garment. You would sew here, right across here, right across the middle. And if you would sew there, what would happen is you could cause it to fall like that. And the stitch would hold it. So then this would be your fringe coming down. And what I normally would do is plait it from here to about here, and then have the rest of this hanging off the garment. That's one way to put it on. Another way to put it on is to layer pieces across your garment, and then take a strip of rectangular fabric and lay it across. You would lay it across, pin it, and then sew it. What would happen is that your yarn will be in an encasement. It would be within an encasement, because you would lay it out the length that you would want it according to your garment. And then you would lay a rectangular strip over the top so it will stay across your whole garment. And so this would be hanging down, and the cloth band that you have would hold it in place. So that's another way to do that. So hand embroidery or cross stitching thread is another way to add fringes to your clothing. Another way to add fringes to your clothing is yarn. That's another way. You can learn, or if you already know how to crochet, you can make a band like this by doing the chain and also a double stitch, because that's all this is. It's a chain and a double stitch. That's it. And you can make the band, the crochet band, the length of the garment you want to put the fringe around, and then you add strips of yarn to it to make this fringe. So I will show you. I won't demonstrate today, or I won't be demonstrating on this video how to crochet a chain or the double stitch. You're welcome to, you may want to purchase a crochet book or find a video on how to crochet a chain and how to do a double stitch. So, because that's, and it shouldn't, everybody's different, but if you work on it as you can, and depending on your learning style, it shouldn't take long to learn. You probably could learn it at least within 6 months, probably, if you really like this style. But it's just a chain and a double stitch. But what you would do is to do your crochet band, cut strips of the yarn, and then you add it to your band. So what I'll do is I'll get ready to bend my camera, and I'm using my laptop camera, so have patience with me as I take it up and down. But so I bend the yarn, because this is it. I bend it in half like this, and I'll bend this so you can see the rest. So I take my crochet needle and I take the half yarn, and I connect it to my hook like this. Well, I take that back. Sorry about that. I got ahead of myself. So what I do is I take my crochet needle and I put it through one of the holes in my band, and then I take my bent in half yarn, and then I hook it to my needle like this. I put it under the hook of the crochet needle, and then I pull it through. So when I pull it through, I have this circle right here. I have that circle. So I'm going to take this loose yarn and put it through the circle. So, and then I pull. So when I pull it, this is what it looks like. Now, if you look at it and you say, well, I didn't really want it that long, then you would just cut it to the length that you wanted it. If you look at it and say, well, I wanted it longer, then you know next time you cut your strips of yarn, then you will cut it longer. These balls of cotton yarn come in a variety of colors at Walmart. Walmart, of course, is probably not the only place that sells them, but they come in a variety of colors, and they're normally $1.74. Or sometimes you can catch a sale and maybe even get them cheaper than that. And this one ball is enough to probably do at least one garment. Now, you can also make fringes for your garments by making you a fringe board. Now, these are sold online for, I think, about $15. I'm not sure. But I took a piece of thin wood. You can also use thick cardboard that you can get free just by going in the store, and maybe the chip delivery person is there and they are able to give you a box. You can also purchase thick post board from Dollar Tree for $1 and make this fringe board. Now, these are two short ones. I've had these for years. I have 3 of them. So what you would do is cut it whatever length you want, and also a length that you think you can work with on your sewing machine, whatever you're comfortable with. And what you would do is cut out a rectangular piece, and then you would cut out this rectangular shape in the middle. You have to leave room here though, and you have to leave enough room here. And just remember, a lot of this portion is going to be the length of your fringe. Okay. So what you would do is take your yarn, start from there, and you would wrap it around this entire thing. So you would wrap it along the entire length of this. So you would continue wrapping it all the way towards the end. And what would happen is you would lay this under the presser foot of your sewing machine, and you would make a stitch all the way across. And then you would go under that and make another stitch all the way across. And then when you finished, you would cut the top. You would cut, when you got finished, you would cut the top of the yarn, and you would also cut the bottom of the yarn also. And then it would stay together because of the stitch. And you could add that as a fringe to your garment. But what I would do is add a strip across the top when I added it to my garment. That way it'll look real clean cut on it instead of having it the raw edge there. I would only have a raw edge from the fringe at the bottom. Also remember, when you're dealing with yarn and as a fringe, it's good to put a little knot at the bottom, so when you wash it, it won't entangle with the other fringes. So that's another thing to remember, whether you're using embroidery thread or you're using yarn, is to put a little knot at the bottom or a little knot in the middle, so the fringes, when you wash your clothing, won't crisscross together. Another quick way to add fringes to your clothing is to buy cotton brushed fringes. So this is an example of cotton brushed fringe. I purchased this from a seller on eBay, and I'm not sure where else you can buy it, but it's called cotton brushed fringe. It's 100% cotton. It comes in a variety of colors, and normally when you research that online on eBay or wherever you choose to, normally you'll have other cotton fringes come up too that may not be cotton brushed fringe, but will be a cotton fringe. But this in particular is called cotton brushed fringe, and I bought this for $4 and something, and the shipping was free. So what I did was, so I would have enough to add to a whole garment, is I bought two. So I paid $4 and something for this one, then I decided to order another one, and I paid $4 and something for that one, and it was free shipping. So it was a pretty reasonable price, and the seller was from Florida. I can't remember their name. I want to say Rose and Lace, I think, from out of Florida. But if you go on eBay, or if you just type it in online, cotton brush fringe, and this is a cotton fringe. Most of the fringes now are polyester or rayon or things of that nature, but this is one of your cotton fringes, and it's called cotton brushed fringe. So I hope this video was helpful. It was made for the sisters that study within our study group. I hate to use the word congregation. I don't like to use that word, but because being a Hebrew Israelite, we're part of a nation. So, but that's a whole nother thing. But we're glad if our videos that we'll put here, even though they were made for our sisterhood study group, we will be more than happy if it helped other women that's trying to seek the way of Yahweh and to add their fringes to their garments, or whatever else that you may end up sharing a video with us in the future. But it's here for us and any other woman who's seeking the Hebrew Israelite lifestyle. So this video was about fringes. Maybe in the future we would need to do a video on how to actually add the fringes to the clothing. I'm not sure, but if anybody would like a video or something like that and it would be helpful, then if y'all's will, I'd be glad to do that. But shalom, shalom.